the story of Earth's surface. About 15 billion years ago, all the matter in the universe was in one small dot. It exploded, sending matter everywhere. About 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system was mostly gas and dust. Gas and dust were elements from exploded stars. These elements were sitting there until gravity pulled them together slowly, formed our sun and the planets that we see today. As gravity pulled Earth together, it got hotter, it heated. With much time, the surface has cooled, but only on the outside. On the inside, it's still very hot. The surface of the Earth is solid and holds the oceans and the land, but just 18 miles underground, the rock turns to liquid, and only 3 miles under the ocean bottom, the rock is liquid. As you go deeper, two things happen. It gets hotter and the pressure gets greater. The temperature melts the rock or the earth. The pressure keeps the rock or the earth solid. So as you go deeper and deeper into the earth, sometimes the heat wins, sometimes pressure wins. When heat wins, it's liquid. So parts of the earth are liquid and parts are solid as you go down. These are the layers of the earth. Between the crust and the mantle is the liquid asthenosphere. The crust floats on the thin asthenosphere. This means we float on the asthenosphere. When earth material melts, it expands, it gets bigger. It pushes on the crust above. Where it pushes hard, the crust cracks. Liquid earth comes out at these cracks. The liquid earth is magma when inside the earth, and lava when outside the earth. All earth material is made of elements. There are 92 natural elements. These elements form minerals. When magma or lava cool, minerals form. The elements in the magma or lava form the minerals. So if the lava had iron and oxygen, or copper, you would get different minerals. If the lava has silicon and oxygen, you'll get quartz. There are thousands of minerals. Each mineral is made of regular repeating patterns of molecules called crystals. This is a diamond, and it has this crystal form, shaped like a pyramid with carbon at the tips. Salt or halite is made of sodium and chlorine. Gypsum, made of fluorine and calcium. These are the A minerals. There are thousands of these things. So magma inside, lava outside, just melted earth. They contain minerals. The minerals cool and mix together, and these mixed minerals form rocks. These rocks from cooled magma and lava are called igneous rocks. Here's an igneous rock. It's called pumice, very light. And here's another one called obsidian. You may have seen it. Looks like black glass. Here's another, granite, maybe on a kitchen countertop. And extrusive means the rock was formed outside the earth. Igneous rocks from magma are called intrusive. If they form inside the earth where magma is, they're intrusive. Sometimes a type of rock can be either extrusive or intrusive, like granite. The top granite formed outside the earth, the bottom granite formed inside. If they have small grains, it formed outside and it's extrusive. Inside is large grains, cooled slowly. So all rocks start as igneous rocks. But time in the earth can change igneous rocks. The water moving over the rock actually pulls particles away. Over a very long time, the water carries tiny pieces of rock away into that pool and on downstream. The water erodes the rock in this way. The water carries the tiny rocks to the ocean. And the tiny rocks sit on the bottom of the ocean. The tiny rocks mix with other tiny rocks. And it forms sediment. If you've ever been to the beach, you've felt this sediment on your feet. The ocean weight presses the sediment down together to form sedimentary rock. So that's a second kind of rock. Virginia has mostly sedimentary rocks formed in the ocean. We have limestone, sandstone, shale. All these were formed on the bottom of the ocean. So this part of Virginia has sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks only form underwater. So Virginia was underwater? Yes. The entire mountain range was under the ocean at one time. The sedimentary rocks of Virginia have footprints of old sea life in them called fossils. This fossil was found on this limestone mountain. So how did Virginia go from the bottom of the ocean to the top of the land? This is the Earth's surface, and those black lines are cracks in the Earth's surface, or Earth's crust. The cracks separate the surface into plates, and the plates float on top of the asthenosphere. Remember, it's liquid. The plates move in the direction of the arrows that are shown below. The plates move in many directions. Why are they moving in different directions? Well, when you see the arrows like this, the crack is called a rift. Here's a rift. Here's another one. At both rifts, lava comes out of the earth. The lava slowly pushes the plates apart. The plates move about as fast as your fingernails grow. Where the arrows are like this together, the crack is called a collision. The plates are actually colliding, and a collision looks like this. Where do the mountains come from? Well, that's a good question. Remember these two types of igneous rocks, granite and basalt? Basalt is under the ocean, granite is under the land. Remember the liquid asthenosphere underneath the basalt and the granite crust? Both of those are floating on top of the asthenosphere. And when the basalt collides with the granite at those collision plate zones, the basalt, which is denser, pushes under the granite. The granite gets hot and melts, and when they melt, they expand. The expanded granite and basalt explode holes in the crust, and these are called volcanoes. You can see the lava coming out of the volcano. These volcanoes have not exploded in years. We call these dormant volcanoes. And these are active volcanoes. They are actively exploding. The plates move all the time, but very slowly. But sooner or later, boom, you're going to get volcanoes where they collide, and new igneous rock comes out as lava. Old basalt rock will go down in the asthenosphere and actually recycle. Sedimentary rock might get lifted up high as mountains. The earth might shake when the plates move and cause earthquakes or tsunamis. But one more important thing happens. When one plate goes under another, it's called subducts or subduction, it heats huge areas of rock. These huge areas of rock don't always melt, but the rock gets hot enough to change the crystal structure. A big word for change is metamorphosis. The crystals of the heated rocks rearrange or metamorphize. The rearranged crystals change the rock properties. These changed rocks are called metamorphic rock, our third kind of rock. Both sedimentary and igneous rocks have metamorphic forms. Shale turns into slate, mica turns into schist, and so on. So the plates colliding and separating cause the rocks to form and to change. From the igneous rocks, from magma and lava, to the sedimentary rocks formed on the ocean bottom, to the metamorphic rocks formed near the magma fire. This changing from one kind of rock to another is called the rock cycle. And that's the story of rocks.